Ate Ato. Welcome to the Nations News. The United Nations Secretariat carries out the day-to-day work of the UN as mandated by the General Assembly and the organization's other main organs. The Secretary General is the head of the Secretariat, which has tens of thousands of UN staff members working at duty stations all over the world. UN staff members are recruited internationally and locally, and work in duty stations and on peacemaking missions. Serving the cause of peace in a violent world is a dangerous occupation. Since the founding of the United Nations, hundreds of brave men and women have given their lives in its service. The Secretariat is organized along the departmental lines, with each department or office having a distinct area of action and responsibility. Offices and departments coordinate with each other to ensure cohesion in the UN's program of work. Much of the UN Secretariat is located in New York City, USA. The UN also has 3 major offices outside of its headquarters and 5 regional autonomic commissions. For more information, let us hear from Ms. Kate Joy Mabayo for the number of the member states. Kate Joy?
Yes, Rosal. The United Nations Secretariat member states are the 193 sovereign states that are member of the United Nations and have equal representation in the UN General Assembly. The UN is the largest intergovernmental organization. Membership in the United Nations is open to all peace-loving states which accept obligation contained in the present chapter and in the judgment of the organization, are able and willing to carry out this obligation. This is KJ Mabayo reporting live. Back to you, Rosal.
Thank you, Kate. Now for us to know about the current head, the nationality, and the flag of the head's country, let's hear it from Mr. Dex.
Thank you, Rosel. So now, the current head of the United Nations Secretariat is Mr. Antonio Manuel D. Oliveira Gutierrez. Mr. Gutierrez was held the 9th Secretary General of the United Nations that took place last January 1st of 2017. Mr. Gutierrez witnessed the suffering of the most vulnerable people in the world, and it made him more determined to make human dignity the core of his work and become a promoter of reform and innovation. Mr. Gutierrez was born at Lisbon, Portugal. As for our knowledge, the flag of Portugal is red and green. The green that symbolizes the hope for the future, and the red that symbolizes the blood of the nation. So for Mr. Gutierrez to be so determined to help the poor, it is because it already runs in his blood as the Portuguese, to help the ones in need. So, now we have here Mr. Jericho Alvarado. Mr. Jericho, how important do you think is the job of the UN Secretariat?
For me, it is very important because the Secretariat carries out the administrative and substantive work of United Nations as directed by the General Assembly, Security Council, and other organs, as its head is the Secretary General, who provides overall administrative guidance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jericho. Now this is Dexel Royd reporting live. Back to you, Rosel.
Thank you, Dexel. At this moment, we are about to hear the method of choosing the head of the organization by Ms. April Joy Cabacoy. I believe this one will be a challenging one, right, April?
And then Rosal, choosing the head of the Secretariat, which is the Secretary General, is appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendation of the Security Council for a period of 5 years. The Security Council holds one formal vote, and at this point, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, namely China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and the United States of America, may veto any candidate of becoming the next Secretary General. The winning candidate, on the other hand, who must have the support of the 5 permanent members, is recommended to the General Assembly, and if the General Assembly approves, the winning candidate may take over the position of the Secretary General, making them the head of the Secretariat. Now, we have here Mr. Michael Sapuyuan to share with us his opinion about the method of choosing the head of the Secretariat.
So, in my opinion, the Charter only states that the Secretary General shall be the chief administrative officers of the organization. We know that the sole restriction is the Secretariat is that in the performance of their duties. And also, the staff shall not seek or receive the instruction from any government.
Thank you, Mr. Michael. This is April Joy Cabacoy saying, choose wisely. Back to you, Rosel.
Indeed, April. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Now for the latest accomplishment of the said organization to be reported by Ms. Nika Resma. Nika?
Thank you, Rosal. So let's now proceed to the accomplishments of the United Nations Secretariat. The Secretary General has repeatedly emphasized its commitment to a zero-tolerance approach to sexual harassment in the workplace, including through a joint letter with staff unions that encourage staff members to support victims and witnesses and reminded them of the available reporting. The Secretary General is committed to ensuring an environment in which staff feels safe to report wrongdoing and to protecting them against retaliation when they do. That is an important part of any anti-fraud and anti-corruption framework. Staff and other United Nations personnel at all levels are commonly the first to recognize wrongdoing in the workplace. Therefore, empowering them to speak up without fear of reprisal will help prevent, detect, deter, respond to, and enable reporting on fraud and corruption.
I am happy and proud because gaining a sense of accomplishment, feeling proud of the work they've done, helps people like they're progressing of their work. Despite how hard their responsibilities, but still, they manage it to be a better leader.
Thank you very much for that, Miss Kat. This is Nika Resma reporting live. Back to you, Rosal.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That would be all for today. This has been your news anchor, Rosal Montelto, wishing you a great day ahead. This is United Nations News. Keep safe.